What's up, guys and gals? It's your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys the latest chapter 71 of Ayakashi Triangle. And this is a pretty good chapter. I like the idea that we're sort of doing the high school, the drama, you know, that sort of comedy sort of idea again, because honestly, going a little too serious, I don't think this story is meant for like a really serious plot line. It would be extremely hard to take it necessarily seriously, not because the characters are badly written, but because the characters have not been set up to be taken too seriously. Sort of like a sitcom, right? Big Bang Theory, Friends, bad ones like How I Met Your Mother. But like, in all honesty, you can have serious episodes. You can have season finales where you take characters and their moments seriously, which we've been doing so far. But at the end of the day, it's still a sitcom. We can have the serious moment at the beginning of a season, have the season finale be a serious moment where two characters either break up or make up or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's still a comedy. It's still a sitcom for the majority of the run. So doing that and jumping back into this what-if sort of scenario in Chapter 71, I actually kind of like this. I also like the explanation as to that the spirit of the Ayakashi medium split into three. One being the little girl inside of you, one being the shadow version of Mai, which is her, and then Suzu herself. Now, it's not really fully explained here, at least she doesn't know, that apparently none of them can figure out why did the Ayakashi medium split into three. Because there's been reincarnations before Mai, right? 150 years ago and stuff. There has been reincarnations. So what actually happened? You know what I mean? Like, why did they split into the little girl inside of Suzu herself, and Shadow Mai? Why did this happen? Why did she become a Jinyo? And that sort of idea. So, who knows exactly? And I like the fact that we don't get all the answers given to us here in Chapter 71. I like the idea that, okay, we have the reasoning and the explanation as to why they shouldn't fight and stuff set up at the end of last chapter, but here we're sort of getting here's a nugget of information. Let's just go with that for now, and then we'll have to figure out the true reason as to why this happened. You know, we're not concluding a point really quickly so we can move on to the hilarity and the comedy and the whole let's turn Shadow Mai into a good person who doesn't hate humans sort of idea, which is where we're going down in this chapter. She ends up, of course, as a Jinyo. She ends up, there's some Ichi moments and stuff, of course, panty shots, ginormous titties, that kind of stuff. But for the most part, this is the showcasing that Garaku is still acting as a double agent. Who is he really the double agent for, though? You know, that sort of needs to be seen. That is yet to be revealed. Like, he is pretending to be a double agent for both of them, but he could be a triple agent. You know what I mean? He could truly be working for Shadow Mai, or he could be working for a third party, or he could truly be working for Matsuri's mother, or he could be truly working for we don't know. But here we're showing that she has decided to join. Shadow Mai has decided to join the high school class, yada yada yada, as Suzu's cousin, and she is here joined. I mean, because they do look similar and stuff. It was a good enough cover story as any, and apparently Jinyo have the ability to just slip into human society as though they've always been there, like with very little questions or explanations and stuff. And we do see the conversation between Matsuri's mother and Garaku talking about being a double agent, like, you know, at either time you could be eliminated by either side. You're playing a very dangerous game, Garaku, and basically Garaku was the one to suggest that this is the best idea, is that you will never be able to fuse, and Mai admits this to herself. If she ever killed Matsuri, Suzu would forever reject her regardless of how good a person she is, regardless of her Ayakashi medium powers, yada yada yada. The idea is that they all fuse together. The little girl inside of Suzu herself, and Shadow Mai all need to become one being again. We're sort of going the Rosary plus Vampire route with this one, which, okay, alright, let's just wait and see how that goes down. But sort of playing around in that vein of storytelling, and Garaku seems to be like persuading and suggestion and that kind of idea to sort of formulate this plan. Absolutely formulate it. And here's where, as I said, Shadow Mai is in the school, hating the fact all it's surrounded by humans, wants to puke and all that stuff. But the idea is not destroy Matsuri, but destroy the relationship that Suzu and Matsuri have. Be a wedge in between them, be the third wheel, if you will. Now, what I do like about this is the hilarity that Shadow Mai might have might be the Ayakashi medium, she might be around and stuff, but she's still like, as shown right here, when they try to take pictures and stuff, she's still very ignorant of technology that has existed now for 150 years since she died. So the smartphone, the whole idea, the monolith, all this stuff that wasn't around, and she's of course terrified of having her picture taken. She thinks that she'll disappear. This was a big thing about photography, was sorcery. When it was first invented, this was not just in Japan, but it's common in other histories, in other countries, where people thought that taking the picture was it would suck your soul into the camera, right? Like that was the big thing. Painting was one thing, but which is what was around. But photography, photographs being new back then, that was a very common fear in multiple cultures. So, and we're seeing that here. Of course, we have the Ichi moment and stuff, but we see that she actually has true feelings about the fact that Suzu basically got a life that was too easy as far as Maya is concerned. She's jealous, she's envious, she's regretful. This is what probably caused her into the shadow part, because we see in a flashback sort of at the beginning of the chapter, we have the scene, but it's shown as a flashback here for just storytelling perspective. Basically said, you were born in a boring, peaceful world, surrounded by family and friends and everything, and you even have a boyfriend or someone special, Matsuri in this case. Says, it's not fair. I never got that experience. I had to live, and you could argue that she sort of did. The Ayakashi enjoyed her and stuff, but I understand, and Garaku, of course, was in love with her, but it's definitely true that she was born in war times where it's like, stone the witches to death, hate them, blah, blah, blah. Anybody who interacts with demons is evil. The arrogance, Salem witches sort of idea. We're getting that sort of motif with her, and she's envious and jealous that Suzu has all her abilities, born in the Ayakashi medium, and has lived an easy life. And she finds it unfair. And in a sense, she's not wrong. It is unfair. The times, you can't just say, oh, it was the times. That's basically an excuse. That doesn't make her feel any better. Like, she understands it logically, but what happened to her was still wrong. Doesn't matter when it happened, it was still wrong that it happened in the first place. So, in this instance, Suzu does recognize this. Now they do a comedic moment and stuff like that in Shuriken going, I'm never going to get my original form back, am I? But here we do get the fact that Suzu is trying to understand Mai and realizing that for her, humans are vile and evil, and they're the ones who killed her, and they're the ones who don't understand, and blah, blah, blah. She tried to bridge it, but it just didn't work. And now maybe if she slowly interacts with more and more humans, she'll be able to sort of, like, we can sort of slow down that resentment level. It sort of reminded me of Seven Deadly Sins with the whole regretful revival. What is it called? The ability that Melasukla uses to revive, like, Elaine and Zaratros and all of them in Seven Deadly Sins. Spoiler for that season. But that sort of idea there, it sort of reminded me of that. Is like, slowly, what's going to happen if, where she's Shadow Mai, where she's a Jinyo and stuff. Now, we've seen that you can be a good Ayakashi, but is there going to be some fallout for this? Is she going to start to lose control of her black magic, her dark powers sort of idea? Are they going to spiral out of control as she doesn't regret or have negative emotions or feelings towards humanity anymore? Is that what's keeping her together, right? And then there's not going to be a choice. So there's a lot of avenues they can take this. Honestly, Chapter 71, even though it's short and pretty much fluff, it does give us good insight and good direction for where the rest of the series is likely going to go with at least this plot point. So, anyways, that's basically the chapter, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Like, comment, subscribe, and fourth, and most importantly, drink. But responsibly, as always, as I always do. We will see you guys back here next time for Chapter 72 of Ayakashi Triangle. Looking forward to it. I know you guys are too. We'll see you next Sunday. Peace out.